Welcome to the video highlights of our all-day conference held September 27th in London, 2007. We had 85 delegates, 14 speakers and some journalists, all listening to presentations on analytics, market research and the web.
I just want to stay in touch with what's happening in the UK, because whatever happens in the UK will happen elsewhere in a few years' time. So I know a lot of the classic stuff, but web is very new to me, so I just want to make sure I'm staying up with what's happening.
Managing a website for a charity is like trying to organize Glastonbury. All your managers want to be on there, and they all want to be on the main stage at the web at the same time, so your front page is always overcrowded. My advice is to look behind the figures of web analytics, to use the traffic figures or your stats to understand your audience, and then to make changes to a website based on that.
So far the highlight has been Bertie's presentation actually on the web analytics at Breast Cancer Care. He was very enthusiastic in his presentation and gave some very interesting ideas that can be applied to both the web and to more traditional fundraising.
I think one of the really interesting things is that obviously a lot of charities they've put the resource into new media, whereas we haven't done that yet. And also, very much clearly, get very realistic KPIs before you start your campaigns and stick to them and do your analysis against them.
My top tip is keep it simple. We find that a lot of people get lost in the weeds. Keep the questions few and make sure that if you know the answers, you would change your behavior.
The notion of tracking people's behavior through journeys from your marketing material all the way actually through to the action they're taking, using as much technology as we possibly can find to achieve that, and then testing and refining what you're doing based on that outset can give you huge benefits in terms of conversion.
I think it was interesting to hear other people's experiences of using Google Analytics, how the configuration went for them, looking at how they're using it and some of the bespoke reporting that they're doing, and also what they hope to do in the future with it.
Don't just be aware of the performance of your own site, put your performance into context. It is the way for you to ensure that you stay ahead of the game, that you know how to promote your website.
It's a chance to mix with my peers, some of which I've met before, some which I know by name, and just learn from what they're doing, their kind of challenges and experiences.
From a marketer's point of view, the things that marketers want analysts to do is engage with them more. Try and understand them, try and understand the environment in which they're working, ask questions, lots of questions, try and understand what the problem or the opportunity is that they're trying to solve.
I think one of the key things that's been said this morning is trying to not get involved in the monthly production of standard data too much. If that can be automated, then it frees up a lot of time to move on to more interesting, more thought-engaging projects.
The challenge is to think outside the box, to think flexibly, to think outside the constraints that research itself imposes on people.
The most important thing for me has been to listen to the gentleman who spoke about the insight, because I didn't realize I was doing insight until he explains exactly what it was about. And I think I'm getting a lot of information that I can use to my advantage when I'm going to return to work tomorrow.
Well, we're reasonably new as a company, and I wanted to find out what other analysts within the industry were thinking and what they were doing.
A lot of the people within your own organisation and a lot of your supporters will already be using social media, very effectively, Facebook, MySpace, and so on and so forth. So the tip would be not to feel as if you need to have to do everything yourselves. I think one thing that charities need to do is distribute a bit more trust within the organisation and to some key supporters externally, and maybe invite them to be sort of virtual volunteers and do some of the work for you.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. The importance of empowering our users and enabling them to spot things in their data that will develop their own capabilities and their own fundraising potentials. And also the value of analysing and prioritising each piece of analysis requests that we get rather than getting them all into a funnel, which is what one of the speakers touched on.
My top tip would be to speak to your friendly web person, ask them about the analytics and the reporting, and ask them to help you with the learnings from the web reporting, which can influence the strategy of your work.
I think my tip would be to really delve down into the detail of the data, act like a terrier and dig deep down, and then act as a retriever to pull the kind of salient points out, and then very much, and I think this is something we often forget, is kind of withdraw out and have that aerial view to figure out what are the aspects that need communicating to the rest of the organisation.
Often numbers are our domain, but we need to use different mechanisms to communicate, so whether it be using metaphors or just pictures and graphs to be able to get the message through and therefore make what we do more accessible and valuable to the organisation.
I guess my top tip for people looking to make a career in analytics is think about which area you're going to specialise in, because I think that there is classic stream as we've seen today, web analytics. The key thing is to try and bring that together, as I've said. Which area are you going to be an expert in, and how are you going to do that?
The point of the panel session today is to look at an emerging area, which is to how to link offline information with online information that's coming from web and coming from interactions that supporters might be making online. How that can be done, how that can be leveraged to bring value to organisations. My tip and advice is absolutely it's a very interesting career, lots of things to learn, and as a famous Greek philosopher said, nothing endures but change.